It's time to hit the road because we're off on a joyride. I'm Van Connor.
And I'm Becks Perfect, and this is Offscreen, your 7-day guide to everything movies.
Boom.
Welcome to Offscreen. Always great to have your company. And actually, a little bit of an announcement. This is my penultimate Offscreen, isn't it, Van?
Your penultimate. Because I love that I learned of this. I learned of this mere moments ago. But I'm devastated.
I know.
We knew it was coming. We just our timeline's been stepped up. But alas, I'll be sad to see you go. I'm going to start getting statues of all my previous off-screen hosts, and that's going to be my memento that I keep. There's just one of Dave and Case, and then you. And it'll just be my band of pop figures. I'm going to make my own pop figures of former presenters of off-screen. But you get to go out on a good week though next week. We'll not spoil that one for you. We'll give you the preview at the end of the episode as always. But Bex, you get to go out on a high.
It is a good week,
don't you?
I do indeed. I'm very much looking forward to it. So, but this week, you know what? In terms of, I wouldn't say going out on a high, but actually just being on a high whilst in a car with either family or randomers that you might happen to meet is kind of the running theme of our two movies this week that we are talking about that are on the big screen. They are Joyride and Hit the Road. We're going to start with Joyride, which is out on today. It's rated 15. It stars Olivia Colman. And I actually really enjoyed this. There is a young boy who basically steals from his father a wad of money which was meant for a hospice that his father had originally stolen, and jumps in a taxi to steal that taxi only to find a baby in the back and a sleeping Olivia Colman. And they embark on a bit of a road trip together, a bit of soul searching for both of them as they try and find out what they can do to kind of get beyond where they eventually find themselves.
Money, you need to come back now. I need that money.
Money!
Who are you?
We've a plane to catch.
You're going to come with me and help look after the baby. In return, I won't press charges.
How is she there?
She's fine.
Well, how do you know if you won't check?
Because she's giving me a little thumbs up.
We'll play question for question, but you have to tell the truth.
You can't be arsed to fight, would you?
What's the baby's name?
Robin. My name's Joy. I know, false advertising.
Olivia Colman on just fine Olivia Colman form there. And so I'll be honest with you, I enjoyed this as well, Bex. I'm with you, I enjoyed this. Having said that, you know within about 90 seconds, bit for bit, what this movie is going to be, what its every plot movement and detail is going to consist of, and I think it's all just really being held together by these really charming performances. Like we say, we're celebrating Olivia Colman, who's just charming enough to keep anything together, no matter how flimsy. And like you say, you get something very cliche, but it's given a lot of heart. And like you said, the young boy's name is, what do you say, it was Charlie Reid.
Charlie Reid. Yeah, he plays Mully. And actually, really interesting. I remember reading a while back, a few months ago, about how he's actually a complete unknown and was just discovered for this movie. And he absolutely steals the show in it. I think he's got all the well-rounded characteristics. He's charming. He's wise beyond his years because the scenario which he finds himself, he has to be. He's got the right kind of tete-a-tete against Olivia Colman, which I think is great. And together, it makes this weird, buddy cop movie kind of thing feel to it, doesn't it? Little Hello, Miss Sunshine. Yeah.
Yeah, there is something of that Little Miss Sunshine kind of thing. But there is also as well, it is that juxtaposition, that balance. It's his tweenage sass versus her sort of childish curmudgeon side, I guess. And it's how those two play against each other. And they do so well in them, like I say, that it elevates the material. The material itself is so nuts and bolts. And it has some great deadpan Irish humour going for it. But I don't think anyone's seeing this for, narrative value. I think this is something you're going for the experience and the charm more than anything else, I would say.
Yeah, 100%. But what I would say, it was interesting. I think I read two conflicting Guardian reviews of this. One gave it 2 stars and one gave it 5. And you kind of go, it's going to be quite subjective to who's watching it. You might kind of think it's just boring as anything, it's just, this kind of road trip movie that doesn't really go anywhere, or you're going to find it incredibly charming because of the performances. I would swing towards the latter for this, and I think it is a thoroughly charming movie. Completely predictable, but actually it's such an easy watch at an hour and a half as well, that why not go and just have some fun with it. Olivia Colman, always brilliant.
Yeah, and also it's nice that Olivia Colman does give us these reminders every now and again that not everything she stars in has to be like nominated for Best Picture and like a 3-hour drama. So, nice that she gives us those reminders. She's doing a Marvel thing next, so we've got that to look forward to.
Yeah.
But worlds apart from that, then, is our next road trip of the week. Hit the Road, written and directed by Pinar Panahi, who is something of a familiar name, a new name, but there's something of a familiarity to him. And so this is effectively a family road trip story. This is an Iranian drama in which a family are introduced to us on a road trip across the desert. And over the course of the ensuing, so I think it's 93 minutes on the nose, something like that, 93 minutes, we start to discover why this family are mysteriously driving across this desert. Why it's mum, dad, older brother behind the wheel, younger brother playing in the back of the car. Why they're making this particular jaunt. Why the older brother seems to be preparing himself for effectively being disappeared, strangely enough. And also how this upcoming change in their dynamic exposes the cracks in their pre-existing relationships, like the dynamics that this family have fallen into over their lifetime together, how they're all dysfunctional in their own little way, and how this upcoming change of circumstance brings all of those issues to the surface. It's largely in Farsi, because you asked me what language that this was in before we came on mic. I think it is in Farsi. Pinar Panahi is making his debut here, and I believe Pinar Panahi is the younger brother of Jafar Panahi, writer-director of things like Taxi Tehran, and who this week, it was revealed, had actually been sort of secretly arrested and detained in Iran for charges going back, I think, nearly 10 years as for his work, in cinema as a political activist. And it's been a case that's gotten a lot of people in uproar this past week, and opens up questions about human rights in Iran. No new subject there. So this is the younger brother's first film, debuting at this of all times, and it's, to be honest with you, it's quite a compelling drama. I thought there was enough to the mystery of just what is the crack here. Like, I couldn't quite figure it out as quickly as I would like to. I would like to have said that I got it earlier than I did, but once you're there, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it now. Yes, it's one of those. It's quite a compelling character drama. There is a cheeky side, there is a funny side to it as well, I thought as well. How did you get on with this?
Yeah, I did. I have to agree. This lives and dies by the family dynamic, right, and how that works together, because essentially that's all you're watching is this same 4 people, I think it is, in the car all throughout this movie. I think all of them are brilliant. You've kind of got that sort of voice of reason of the mum. You've got quite a playful dad whose leg is broken. You've got quite a quiet son who's quite serious. And then you've got the youngest son who is an absolute loudmouth nightmare, really annoying but very funny little child.
Ryan Sarlach is great.
Yeah, he's brilliant in it. And for me, it really is one of those movies that if you can, they do hit you with that family dynamic in the first couple of minutes of this film. You get it. There's a whole sort of shuffling around about a mobile phone and things at the beginning in the car, and you kind of go, what is going on here? But with that, it sets the tone. And then you kind of go, I can watch this family throughout the rest of those 93 minutes. And that's what is key to this movie.
And it's funny you said that about Little Miss Sunshine in relation to Joyride, because I actually thought this had more in common, I thought, with Little Miss Sunshine. And particularly it's very flat tone, I thought, as well. I thought kind of words. So I would describe, and I say as well, the kind of audience that are going to enjoy this on its opening weekend at Art House Cinema would probably be the kind of people that did enjoy Little Miss Sunshine on its theatrical run in 2006 as well, definitely. So that's a pair of road trips for you this week then. Sorry, Bex, you were saying, go on, I'll cut you off.
No, I was just going to apologise. I was sort of saying hello, Miss Sunshine, and I was getting that confused with Reese Witherspoon's production company, Hello Sunshine, and that's where I was like, it's Little Miss Hello Sunshine. I don't know, but you get what I meant. It was Little Miss Sunshine that we were comparing this to.
I do indeed, but alas, road trips all around, some in Iran, some in Ireland, but time behind the wheel for the week. Let's come back with some picks on Freeview.
Welcome back to Off Screen. Now, as promised, we took you on the ride of the big screen, and now it's time to move on to the small screen. So everything that is available for Freeview from you on your 7-day guide, and it's all great movies. And we're kicking off with what Van would describe as the best bloomin' Mission Impossible out there. It's Mission Impossible Fallout. It is on 9 p.m. Tonight on Film 4. I actually haven't seen this, but this is the one with Henry Cavill, you tell me.
This is Henry Cavill with a stash, cocking his forearms as he beats a dude across a men's room. This is such an awesome movie. I love Mission Impossible Fallout. It's up for debate whether or not it's actually the best one, but it's such a great movie. It's one of those movies that reminds you that every other action franchise out there nowadays is chasing the tail of this one, and nobody wants to admit that. But this is the one with Henry Cavill. This is the one with Vanessa Kirby joining the cast as well. And this is the one that calls into question Ethan Hunt's loyalties, but also starts to pry under the surface of just what it is that everyone's favorite super spy really cares about. It's got the great the Halo jump sequence. I think they filmed for this one, in which Tom Cruise did the Halo jump into Berlin at night. It's just awesome, and it kicks off a week that's largely action based on Freeview this week. I mean, I know you and I love a 90s style actioner, so this worked out in our favor. But we're just putting it out there. We did not choose these intentionally, like specifically for our own interest. It's best of a bad bunch, sometimes.
Yes.
So on that note, though, we would have picked this one either way. Saturday night, we'll have a clip for this one, 11 o'clock on ITV4. It is the 25th anniversary of this absolute genre gem this year, this summer, this month, in fact. It is, of course, Nicolas Cage as Cameron Poe in Con Air. 25 years. Where did those go?
I don't know. It makes me feel really old thinking about that. I've got these very vivid flashbacks to me watching this movie in my parents' house. Far too young as per usual, but that was the 90s. And it's an amazing movie, and it still holds up to this day. So, why not enjoy it and watch it again and again?
Exactly. A big old-fashioned Hollywood all-star cast coming together for an ensemble actioner in which you effectively get a prisoner uprising on a transport plane. But of course, there's the one good guy prisoner among the bunch, played by Nicolas Cage. And this, of course, gives us one of the great moments in all of cinema. I underline all of cinema. Put the bunny back in the box.
Appears the United States Parole Commission that... Oh, man. Oh, yeah.
Put the bunny back in the box.
I knew you was a punk, and I was right. You been playing us all along. You a free man.
I said, put the bunny back in the box.
There we go. A bit of Con Air for you there. We're going to move from the airwaves to... I say the airwaves, that would be us. From the airwaves to the skies to the space. Yeah, it's going to be one from us to the sky to beyond. So Star Trek Into Darkness is on Sunday night, 10:30 p.m. on Channel 4. This is the reboot. This is kind of the new...
This was the Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah, this was the Benedict Cumberbatch one. Yeah.
Yeah, I did enjoy this. I remember, haven't seen it since, but when we watched it at a screener when it came out in the cinema, in the cinema, and so I just remember him being really sinister. I think is it in that first like few scenes we see him?
He is a mysterious character. Like, if you don't know the movie, I'm not going to spoil it for you because it was a whole thing at the time. It was a mystery, like who Benedict Cumberbatch was actually playing. He is a mysterious man named John Harrison who declares a one-man war on Starfleet, and it's very post 9/11, very War on Terror kind of stuff in the Star Trek universe with Cumberbatch, and also, and he never got the credit for this, Peter Weller as well, RoboCop himself, who just kicks so much ass in this. I think is really underrated. It gets a lot of a kicking for its third act, but I think it works in context. Star Trek Into Darkness, 10:30 Sunday night. Here's what, I don't know if you've seen this version, because even if you've seen the movie, you may not have seen this version back. Did you see Apocalypse Now Final Cut? Because it's on Monday night, BBC Two, 11:15. You didn't see this. Have you ever seen Apocalypse Now?
I have many moons ago. Love the smell of napalm in the morning. It's it's a classic. You know what? I remember. Was there another cut that came out a few years ago where I remember seeing the posters on the tube? Not so long ago. So they must have done a director's cut or something. I
think what may have happened is you may have seen it on theatrical when I did as well, which was in the early 2000s when they did Apocalypse Now Redux edition. And it was about 2001 to 2002, thereabouts, I think. And then that got put onto DVD. I think that became the de facto version for a long time. And then this, because I actually went back and saw this. And you know what? Apocalypse Now in any form is still awesome. If you've never seen it, definitely check it out. If you've not seen it in a long time, go back and revisit it. It's the text that keeps on giving. Every time you go back, you take something new from it. If you can watch it while under the influence, all the better for it. Just see it as it was intended. Obviously, is one thing. I got absolutely plastered once before a screening of Apocalypse Now, and I can only say that added to the experience, because if you can get yourself actually nauseatingly drunk to where the room is spinning, that is probably the optimum condition under which to watch Apocalypse Now, particularly the opening sequence. But on to Tuesday nights, and talk about lads movies. Shaun of the Dead. This is going to be coming up to an anniversary soon. We're 2 years off the 20th anniversary of this one. 9 p.m. Tuesday nights on ITV4. Yes, it's going to be. We're 18 years on from the release of this. Such a seminal work, isn't it? Shaun of the Dead.
Just kickstarts the Cornetto trilogy. It's just one of those, it's one of those movies that I think so many people who went to uni at the same time as us used it as such a cultural reference. And we even had like a pub, we made a fake pub in our garden where we just invited we called it the Winchester. It was hilarious. And it's just so many quotable lines from this, fantastic performances from Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, and what a way to parody the original Dawn of the Dead movies. So it is just brilliant. It will still make you laugh. It shows how brilliant British comedy really can be. And if you were a fan of Space as well, fantastic to see some of those cast members crop up in this. 9 p.m. ITV4. I think we got a clip for this as well, just to give you guys an extra little bit of a treat.
We have, because I think this is about as close as you can get to finding like a proper audio example of that wonderful editing that you get in these early, in fact, in all Edgar Wright movies. So here it is, the great rom-com itself.
Where's safe? Where's familiar? Where can I smoke? Take car, go to Mum's, kill Phil, grab Liz, go to the Winchester, have a nice cold pint, and wait for all this to blow over. How's that for a slice of fried gold?
Yeah, boy! It is vital that you stay in your homes, make no attempt to reach loved ones, and avoid all physical contact with the assailants.
Do you believe everything you hear on TV?
I love this movie so much. I introduced Miriam to it this past year, and as an American who's just obsessed with all things British, right up her alley. She loved this.
Fantastic.
It's one of those. I just think it's an absolutely banging movie. It just really holds up. On then to Wednesday night, a 5-star, and of course the trailer came out this past weekend because of Comic-Con. First teaser trailer came out for John Wick Chapter 4. I don't believe it has a ridiculous subtitle yet, but I'm sure it shall. So you can see in the meanwhile though John Wick Chapter 2 on 5-star on Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Which, if you've seen the first one is a very basic concept. It's one of those. It's like Taken. You can't really go wrong with that as a concept. It's pretty accessible. If you want to get into the later sequels, you need to jumpstart on the mythology. You need to get in on this action from this point. And I will admit, I think this is the weakest one of the 3 movies so far. But because it is the most sort of mythology heavy. But I know that there are people who are really into that, and even I can't deny the action scenes in this one. I mean, in all John Wick movies, they're awesome anyway. But in this one, oh my God, so good. Just that opening sequence when you're getting his car back. Oh, man. Just the guy can fight a car, literally. Anyway, beside the point, moving on to one to round off the week. A 90s classic that I know you whooped, cheered, and wept at in 1998, in the summer of 98, Becks. I'm sure you would have been about, 14, 15, I think, when this came out.
Oh,
Armageddon.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Armageddon, 9 p.m. on ITV4 on Thursday night. You gotta love Armageddon, right?
I don't want to close my eyes. I don't want to fall asleep. It's like, the soundtrack, Ben Affleck, Liv Tyler, Bruce Willis, everything about this is so symbolizes like how great 90s action movies were. We had like Independence Day, we have Armageddon. These are ones that we remember, and these are the movies that we'll kind of continue to watch and again that will still hold up. And I think if you want to sit down and kick off your Thursday night with this, you won't be disappointed, and that's what I love about it.
And of course, it's an interesting sort of memoriam of a very specific time in sort of the film industry history as well, because Armageddon follows on the back of Titanic in that sort of brief period in which Hollywood really hoped that it could go back to doing old school epics. Like they thought, oh, Titanic's been a hit, yes, okay, and now we've got that for the winter. Okay, what's for the next summer? Armageddon. Oh, that's doing the same kind of weepy action thing. Cool. Awesome, people are loving that as well. Okay, what we got next? And then the following summer, we had the sort of big 3 of The Mummy, Star Wars, and oh god, what was the other one? There's the Scott Mendelsohn trilogy, The Mummy, Star Wars, and one of the Lord of the Rings, something like that maybe, that completely changes the trajectory of the industry, and it takes away all that thunder before Pearl Harbor can try and scoop the gold, and it all goes wrong. But Armageddon is just
terribly wrong.
Dirty Dozen in space.
Brilliant.
It has Thursday night on ITV4. That's how you finish a week.
Welcome back to Off Screen. So to round off this week's podcast, we have, as ever, all of those DVD, Blu-rays and streaming offerings for you. And we're kicking off with, a dog that you are all very much familiar with, but in a different take, as it has been in different iterations over the years. Available on Prime Video as of today. We've got Scoob. I had to just check this with you, Van. I was like, what is this? And you were like, it's Scooby-Doo. It's just that was released a couple of years ago. So
yeah,
he's back, right? Scooby and Shaggy are back.
Yeah, this was intended to be one. I think this got derailed by the pandemic, and then I think it got shunted around, kind of went to streaming, kind of didn't. He's now going on to Prime Video. And he's attempted to be an animated reboot of the Hanna-Barbera verse, but through using the Scooby-Doo element of the universe as its sort of access point. So they do bring up other characters in there, like Dastardly and Muttley, for instance, who come up in there.
Nice.
It also fixates on a younger incarnation and the origins of the Scooby Gang, which I don't know why we keep seeming to do that. This didn't quite hit the sweet spot for me, but to be honest, there's only really the James Gunn Scooby-Doo ones that have, and I love Scooby-Doo. I'm a big Scooby-Doo fan. This skews quite young, but at the same time is quite convoluted and all about the cinematic universe building. So I would say if you've got young kids, give it a try, particularly if you've got kids around the sort of 5 to 8 sort of range, maybe. You could sit this on. We would put this on for the boys. They're sort of, if they're 5 and 8, 8. So we'd probably get away with putting this on for both of them. But that's on Prime from today.
Join me, Scooby-Doo, and I will show you how to harness your destiny and become the most important dog in the world.
No thanks, Dastardly.
Oh, please. My friends call me Dick.
Okay. Rick?
No, I'm not a Rick. I'm a Dick with a D.
Rick with a D.
Dick.
Rick.
One that's on Amazon Prime from today, and could not be more different to Scoob, is an adaptation of Irvin Welsh's Filth, starring James McAvoy.
I love it.
I thought you might like this one. This is pretty out there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is so bonkers because I read the book many, many years ago. Very hard to follow, as you can imagine.
It's all Irvin Welsh books, really, then.
And it's exactly. And it's just brilliant. It's just so brilliantly done. It's so. I'm trying to think of the lady who plays Bunny in it. She's such a brilliant actress, and
I know exactly who you mean as well. She stars in The Descent. She stars in The Descent, I think. Yeah. So this is McAvoy as, is he a bipolar, or is he a bipolar police officer who has two personalities? One, and they start to bleed together as he is basically running his corrupt little patch in, is it Glasgow specifically? Because that's part of the story, I think.
I think it is. And you know what? If anyone can portray split personalities on screen, it's James McAvoy.
You can do 27
in
of
other
them,
movies as well. Yeah, exactly. Split is a good reference point for that. This is, I don't know why. I think it's almost because it's so vulgar and garish to a point that it couldn't quite hit the heights of, say, what Trainspotting did. But if you enjoy that kind of look and feel of a movie, this kind of still gives you that vibe. And I was really excited when it came onto the big screen and to see it again. And I would watch it again. It's brilliant.
I actually do revisit this about once a year. Two final things to stick on the end of that. First of all, it's a great and much more animated film, I think, tonally, than Toy Story was. Also, great supporting cast in this, which includes people like Jim Broadbent, Jamie Bell, I think, as well. Jamie Bell turns up as the young...
Trainspotting, you mean, not Toy Story.
Toy Story, Trainspotting. Oh my God, sorry, other 1995 tea movie.
Very different.
Oof. Very. Do you know what it is? It's because we've got Lightyear coming up. Lightyear's coming up in the listing. That's what it is. Sorry, my bad. There's no connection between Irvin Welsh and Toy Story. Good Lord. Let's move on then and talk about the in no way problematic 500 Days of Summer, which also comes to Prime from today, starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Zooey Deschanel, I think.
Zooey Deschanel. Don't tell me this is problematic. I love this movie. I don't want to hear a bad word about it. I know it's probably it wouldn't work in today's generation watching it, but actually
Gen
when it did
Z
come out,
have given this a kicking, to be fair.
God. What have they said? I'm so annoyed.
Look, do you know what? BuzzFeed exists. There's loads of glamour articles and things like that. You go and read for yourself. You can, other outlets are available. Let's talk about something that has in no way aged well, but actually when you get to its soundtrack, is actually probably about as problematic now. Space Jam, which comes to Netflix on Monday the 1st. And no, apparently you can't use an R. Kelly clip, but here's some Michael Jordan.
Look, I want to help, but I haven't played basketball in a long time. My timing's all off.
We'll fix your timing. Look at our facilities. We've got hoops. We got weights.
We've got balls. Whoa!
Dude, this place is a mess.
Mess? You're worried about a little mess? There's nothing here a little spit shine wouldn't fix. Spit shine!
Hasn't aged well, but still is better than the sequel.
Yes, at least it's better than the sequel. You got to give it that.
Yeah. So that's available Netflix on Monday. What's coming up also on Monday on Netflix is the Spider-Man trilogy. So, Van, I'll leave this one to you because it's right up your street. So you're getting 3 for 1. 3 in 1 in this one, right?
Yeah. You're getting the Raimi trilogy, the OG Tobey Maguire trilogy, and the first two of these are just all-time Stone Cold classics, like should be spoken of in the same breath as, Richard Donner's Superman. These are genre-defining game changers. These are masterpieces of superhero cinema, and that's before you really start getting into the 2000s, more deeply into the 2000s and the MCU and the Christopher Nolan stuff. They are just absolutely wonderful movies, the first two. I would rather set myself on fire than sit through the third one again. I hated it with a fiery passion. And thanks to one of my soon-to-be stepchildren, I have had to revisit it recently, so thanks for that. But you know what, I can take solace in the fact that come Monday, the same day that you can watch that awful movie on streaming, you can also pick up on DVD and Blu-ray a copy of the wonderful Paul Verhoeven film Benedetta. I don't know if you remember, did we get to review this one together?
How could I forget? Yeah, how could I forget Benedetta? I mean,
how could you forget
it's the
Benedetta?
Bonkers Nun movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the Bonkers Nun movie with that 70s appeal. It's really crazy, but enjoyable and totally watchable. And I would definitely implore you to go and listen back to our full review on it on one of our previous podcasts that we've done, because that will give you the length and breadth of this.
Yeah, it kind of was like Paul Verhoeven does Suspiria kind of a thing, really, isn't it? But Paul Verhoeven does his grand Black Narcissus kind of nun epic. I thought it really worked. If anyone's going to do that kind of insanity well, let it be Paul Verhoeven. Oh man, the stuff in there that I remember watching it just thinking, God damn, only Paul Verhoeven could do this. Welcome back, Paul. We missed you. I love that, man.
And it's Charlotte Rampling, isn't it, that's in it? Is it Charlotte Rampling?
She is in that. I think she's the Mother Superior, isn't she? I think she's the Mother Superior.
Yeah.
But alas, one that's coming to streaming next week, and this is going to round off the week, comes to streaming on Wednesday on Disney+. And I'm heartbroken that this is the fate that has befallen it so quickly. I loved this. It got the absolute life beaten out of it on theatrical, unfairly. It's my favourite movie of the year so far. It's Lightyear. It's Pixar's Lightyear, the origin, it's the movie within the movie. So within the Toy Story universe, this is the movie that Andy watched, that he got the action figure for, that we've then been following the adventures of. So this is effectively an in-Pixar universe Flash Gordon. And their version of Buzz Lightyear, the original version, their actor was, it turns out, Chris Evans, as you're going to hear here.
Buzz Lightyear mission log, stardate 3901. After a full year of being marooned, our first hyperspeed test flight is a go.
Who are you talking to?
No one.
You were narrating again.
I was not. Just doing the mission log.
You do know no one ever listens to those.
I know that. Narrating helps me focus.
Ready, Captain Lightyear?
Ready as I'll ever be, Commander Hawthorne. This is exciting. A new adventure.
I'm gonna grant you 4 minutes to be off planet, but then you come right back to us. To infinity
and beyond.
It might have been, all of the press that Tim Allen was getting about why he wasn't voice cast in this that kind of helped sort of seal the fate of it theatrically. But I'm really, do you know what? I know you're sad that this is its fate, but for me, I'm actually really excited because it just means that I can access this on Disney Plus and I can go and sit down and thoroughly enjoy it. So, it's a nice way to round off the week.
Yeah, absolute blast. Just you're gonna have such a great time watching this. I just listening to that trailer thinking, oh man, I need to revisit this like really quickly. I loved that. In fact, that's what I'm going to do on the flight back this weekend. But upon my return to the UK, you and I next week for your final week, Miss Perfect, we have quite the lineup. And I mean, if you've got a week to go out on, this is going to be a good one. So first up, we're going to board the bullet train with Brad Pitt and Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Joey King, I think, is in there as well.
Yeah.
Maisie is next week, documentary about Britain's oldest drag queen. We've got Ron Howard's 13 Lives next week, which is this is the dramatization about the rescue of the soccer team from the cave in Thailand. It's been adapted for the screen. It stars Joel Edgerton, Colin Farrell, and Viggo Mortensen. And all I want to know is there going to be a scene in which Elon Musk shows up and starts calling people a pedo? Like, because I really want to know if that's going to make the movie. But more important than any of that next week, of course, more important than all of that is the return of the Predator. And this time, we're going Native American. It's Prey next week. I can't wait.
Really? Because you're not showing it very well. You're just kind of keeping your cool about this.
I'm just desperate. It's like Dan Trachtenberg, you know?
Yeah, I get it. But yeah, I'm really excited. I think, if you've seen any of the press around Bullet Train, it looks fab, a great kind of action movie. I love the idea of learning about the UK's oldest drag queen. That's right up my street. I can't wait to watch that documentary. And yeah, who doesn't love a little bit of Predator? So we're going to bring you all of that, and I will bow out gracefully from off screen next week. But I really look forward to kind of talking that through with you all. So join us then. But until then, I've been Becks Perfect.
I've been Van Connor, and we shall return.